In this video, I'm going to show you quickly how to format things and make some changes in Microsoft Word. This is the fast version of the video. If you need more detail, you can go into the other videos on my site. This is probably not going to have a lot of explanation. I'm just going to do it. And so if I want to indent or push this first line over in the paragraph, I press the Tab button on my keyboard. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of extra steps here by pushing space, 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 space. That's going to make my formatting really difficult if I do that, and I'll never be able to fix it easily. If I want to double space, I highlight everything. So I want there to be extra spaces between these lines of words or text. And so I do that. I go up here, see the double arrow? All these little things have a drop-down arrow next to them. If I hit on the double arrow, I can change it to 2. Now I just double spaced. Never retype things. If you have everything typed out, don't erase it all and go back and change the settings and then retype it. That is a waste of time. You can just highlight it and make your changes. If I want this to be bigger, I can go up here and I can make it bigger. Let's make it 20. Perfect. Okay? I want to change the font, make it a little more fancy. I click on the drop-down arrow next to the font, pops up. Now it's more fancy. I want to change the color. I click on this icon here with the underline of a color. I choose the color I want it to be. It's now that color. Remember, you have to have it highlighted or it will not work. If I want to put a title on top, I don't have any space up here. So what I need to do is press the return button or enter if you're on a PC. They're the same thing. Go up and look, this is going to be awesome. If I want to put my title up here, I'm just going to put title. Well, I want that to be in the middle. So I highlight what I'm going to move and I put it in the middle. If I want it on the left, or the right rather, I click on the right, left, center. Justify doesn't really do much. It makes it look like I have it over here on the right. That's because it's only one word. If I justify everything, watch what happens. Especially watch this margin. See how it's a jaggedy edge? If I go over here to justified, it's no longer a jaggedy edge. It spreads the words out so they make a nice clean edge on both sides. That's all that does. Okay? Next thing you need to know is how to highlight something. So right here is the highlight button. Choose a color. I made it highlighted. I want to make it bigger. I highlighted. I showed you this to make it 20. I'm just going to make it 72. Boom. Highlighted, bigger, change the color, change the font. Looks great. There's an extra space in here, so I could delete that if I wanted to, but we're going to leave it for now. The next thing I want you to understand is at the end of each of these sentences, I did not press the return button. All I did is I typed, and you can see I typed one letter and it automatically jumped down to the next sentence. It just does it by itself. The computer figures out when the sentence is too long. The only place you need to push return is at the end of a paragraph. And so if you don't have it at the end of a paragraph, you should not be pushing the return button. If I'm going to put a shape in here, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that you can see what I'm doing. If I want to put a shape in here, it's pretty easy. I go up here, I click on a shape, and let's say I choose, this smiley face. I click, nothing happened. I have to click again on the page and drag out a smiley face. I'm drawing it, okay? If you notice, it's allowing me to put it right in the middle of the words. If I double click on this, just like anything else, if you double click on it, it lets you see a menu that deals only with that stuff. I'm not going to get into all the details here except for one thing, and that is this text wrapping. Right now I can see through it. I can make it square. See how it makes like a square box here even though it's a round shape. I can make it tight so the words move right up against it. I can do a whole bunch of things, and so that is your text wrapping. I'll show you that in a minute. The other thing that you should know about is that you can change, on many of these, you can change the colors. So here's the fill color, the paint bucket. If I change the fill color, I can make that a nice pretty yellow. I can change the line color so it is red. I can also change the lines so they're thicker. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail here, but basically those are some of the basics. If I want to get out of this menu, I just click back onto the word somewhere and it goes back. I want to put a picture, but in this case I want to put clip art, which is kind of a cartoony type of thing usually. I like this dog. I'm going to put him in. I'm going to get my... Why did it go on 2 pages? Well, because I have this clip art here that's taking up space. The dog's also taking up space, and because of how the dog is, it actually is making it look like it's one word. I don't want the dog to be treated like a word, and so I'm going to double click on the dog again, open up the menu up here, do my text wrapping and make it square. Now the dog fits inside the words and he's not taking up as much space. Okay? So square the dog, you can get rid of this box or you can move it around if you want, but if it's covering up your menu on top, that's not so good. Last thing I want to show you is this ruler on top. Don't drag these arrows around. It is a guaranteed way for you to get yourself into problems that you won't know how to fix unless you become an advanced user. So avoid those for now until you get really comfortable with all this other stuff, and I think you'll be happy. Good luck!